All I want to say is,
oh my.
So man, we about to jump into this right quick. Oh, me? My name is Nick Carey. And that other cat, oh, that's James Cat. Right now, your mind is about to be blown, bro. You understand this? This is the beginning of greatness. You're witnessing something that many are gonna want to be a part of. Let's get into this, man. Let's do this. Here we go.
That's cool. Alright. What is good, you guys? It's your boy Randy Anderson here with another episode of the Average Guy Podcast on the Average Guy Studios. First and foremost, shout out to everybody from SoundCloud. Shout out to everybody on Apple iTunes. Shout out to everybody in Canada that's been rocking with your boy. Matter of fact, shout out to Toronto for getting the championship, the Raptors. Shout out to everybody, all the family in Egypt, and family in the United States. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Sydney. I believe that's somewhere over there in Canada, or not Canada, but somewhere. I cannot find it. I do not know what this flag looks like. But yeah, shout out to everybody that's been rocking with the show of late. But yeah, man, shout out to both of my co-hosts, man. Corey, what's good, bro? And my boy Ryan in the building.
What's up?
All right, so y'all ready for the show? Let's get this show started. Let's start off with some heat first. Are humans truly built to be monogamous? Ryan, I'll let you start. Are humans truly built to be monogamous?
Oh wait! No, because we had a way we're gonna frame it.
Okay,
so
go ahead.
Because we'll go in. Start with the marriage part. Then frame it. Then we'll segue into it. I think that's how Laura wanted to do it anyway.
Got you. All right. Should couples be judged for never tying the knot? That's the question I propose to you guys. And if their offspring involved, how does it impact them? Impact them. I said impact them. Go ahead. I'll let you go first, Corey.
Couples so should basically was and this Lauren that came with the questions. I had the topics and everything. I was basically just asking, can you judge a couple if a couple decides to never get married? If they never, can you judge them? Because that's how a lot of people a lot of people want that. That's how they look. They view as success and everything. And so I have a different. I have a view on what and y'all heard me say it a lot of times. I have a view on what marriage is. I don't think marriage is something that's. I don't think marriage is like the way that people see it. I don't think it's real. You know what I'm saying? I think marriage is more business. You know what I'm saying? It's more business.
Yep.
Conduct business, and then also the way that people are using it now, it's more of a validation. You know what I'm saying? Tactic. You don't necessarily need anybody fucking telling you. Or what am I trying to say? Nobody can tell you when you're married. You know what I'm saying? You go to a courthouse. Yeah, there's plenty of couples go to a courthouse or whatnot, but they may be completely far apart as far as together. You know what I'm saying? Being together. So when you married, you bringing everything as one. You want to build everything as far as a life together, and you don't need any court documents. You don't need any ceremony or anything like that to make that happen. You know what I'm saying? A relationship with a person is just that. Love is love. What you got building with a person is just that. You know what I'm saying? It's just marriage is more of a thing. Like I said, it gets you. You're able to. It makes conducting business easier. So when you sit up there, got somebody pass or something like that, and you got all your chicks, your side chicks, and everything, and your wife fighting over the money, it makes it easy. the transfer over to where it's going. It makes things like that a smoother transition versus all the confusion. It's talking about what's, whose is whose and things like that. So it's more business related. And I'm not saying it's just solely for that, but it's a business, it's a filing status. But what you think? I'm not gonna look down. I'm not gonna look down on nobody. And I wish there was some women on the show because they're the ones that are the truly opinionated on shit like this. And they're the ones that really want and really fight for their title.
What'd you say, Ryan?
Let me say something. Let me say this real quick before my phone.
So
basically, what I feel marriage is. Well, first off, about being judged for doing it. I think judging somebody for anything is pretty messed up for a lot of reasons. But I'm gonna just go off of what you were saying, because you kind of led off into what marriage actually was, and I would define it as it's a contract. It ain't got nothing to do with feelings, love, none of that shit. It's a contract. And I feel like when two people sign that license, that contract, everything becomes business. Everything, even like shit that people consider normal before they got married, that becomes business. Family, kids, business, houses, cars, financial decisions, all that business. You know what I'm saying? So before you get into business with somebody, y'all need to establish that rapport. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to build that credit with each other and get on the same page business-wise, because that's exactly what you walking into. You know what I'm saying? People get married for citizenship. People get married into money. People get married because of tradition or heritage. You know what I'm saying? People get forced into marriage. So, all that love and all that shit, put that shit aside. Marriage in the United States of America, marriage is business. You know what I'm saying? Everything becomes not about what you have, but what you're trying to have and what you can do to achieve that, to have that, and what you're gonna do after. You know what I'm saying? It takes money to go to war. You know what I'm saying? And that's just on a solo tip. But you're going into business with somebody, and they gotta have their bread up too. Their responsibilities gotta be in check. Y'all goals have to be aligned. Everything is teamwork. It's business. One person don't fall off. If one person fall off, the other one gets set back. Both of them fall off. I just hope the motherfuckers know how to communicate so they can bounce back, because a lot of motherfuckers don't make it. The business, it ain't there. They're not equally yoked business-wise. That's how I feel about that. But as far as being judged, hell nah. But certain marriage choices should not be thrown in our faces, like with the gay marriage and all that shit. Like, I always say this shit every time something's mentioned about homosexuals. I'm not trying to offend nobody. Love who you love, live your best life, whatever hashtag you want to throw on it. But every time you cut the TV on, it's just thrown in your face. It's thrown in your kids' faces. They grow up thinking that shit is normal. So it's like, it's forced onto you. Like the idea of marriage, a lot of the times it's forced on to people. And women press the issue. Majority of the time. It's some men that go out and, propose, whatever. But look at all the women that get criticized for proposing to the man. Your nuts will fall off if you think you about to wait on your woman to propose to you in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm saying. But I'm gonna leave it at that though.
When did Ryan become a philosopher in this bitch? Over here speaking out facts.
Bro, I swear. I'm like all relationship. Like, I give advice, and my biggest fault is I don't take my own advice. But All right, bro. I'll be like in that free game now. I'm a vagina, what they call it, life coach. You know.
So you practice PPM?
Yeah, you know.
I retired from that a long time ago.
You know, women and teach them how to manage their vagina because they be making terrible choices. You know.
Did he finish off what he was saying?
Yeah, he was just basically got, you know, he went into detail, but yeah, he finished it all out. But yeah, I agree 100%. He said he gonna be back. He charging his phone up.
All right. Yeah, my bad, man. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna have to create a segment for that. You know what I'm saying? If he's on that wave, you know what I'm saying, with his philosopher wave and not just the renegade wave. All right, so I agree with both of y'all. Like literally, it truthfully is a business. Like the stuff that I've been looking into of late, you know what I'm saying, trying to purchase a house and stuff like that. Literally, they ask you like they ask anybody else if you're married or because that's the second source of income. That second source of income is always looked on as a good thing from another person. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I guess it is a positive of being married or something like that. But yeah, and if the offspring and would they be affected? I will say no, but a lot of people will say yes because they feel like if your kids don't see you married, that it'll somehow affect them when they get older and wanting to be in a relationship and stuff like that. Now, I can see psychology-wise how it could affect somebody, or how it could affect a kid growing up. But if you're together with your significant other, y'all married, but y'all not really married, it's gonna be no different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I got on that.
Because y'all don't have the same, you know what I'm saying, that y'all not unified on your thoughts and things like that. So yeah, it's
I mean you can't. My bad. I mean, but you can be unified on your thoughts, but you guys probably don't want to be writing that down on paper like we are married. Da 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 da. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, right. I mean, even if you don't, you know what I'm saying, that may not be. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't though. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to a perfect unification, I don't see why you wouldn't. You know, when you get into business, but like I said, you may not. Man may not trust. You know what I'm saying? And it's real. It's more nuanced than what people may try to make it is. There's a lot more gray area to it.
Ooh.
Like I said, like Ryan framed it the perfect way. It's all a business. Everything you get into, from, you know, dealing with your children, and finances, just every aspect of it. It's all business. It's something that has to be done for just for success in general. You know what I'm saying? To play the game out here. So, but you don't, like I said, you don't necessarily need it. You know, it's so much, and I think people just look at it the wrong way. They look at it as, you know, validation. They look at it as a badge, mainly females. You know, they look at it as a badge, and hey, I'm married, and you not, and things like that. And it's like, no, that's not what it's about. You know, love and things like that. That's not what it's about. A person can love you, but y'all not married. You know, love is what ultimately matters. You know, true love is all that matters. But y'all may not have everything together on the business aspect. You know, love and business are two different things. Y'all may not have everything. You may not feel she has everything together. She may not feel you have everything together on the business aspect. And so it may not be time. It may not be time for that. May not be mentally ready. Like I said, you know, there may be some flaws, something that you can see detrimental, especially you're going into business with this person.
Yeah.
You know, she's sitting up there, you know, you gotta have an argument, and she decides she want to take, you know, half and things like that. That's something that you may not be comfortable with, and that's something that, you know, you may not be worked out. You know, y'all haven't worked out in y'all minds together. So, you know, like I said, but yeah, it just, everything gets just so simplified and turned into these fairy tale stories and everything like that, that it just dilutes what everything is. You know what I'm saying? All you got in this world is your word. You know, for men, your balls and your word. You know what I'm saying? Women, whatever it is they got in their word. You know what I'm saying?
In their word.
Yeah, click whatever they like in the standing on something. You know, we say balls because, you know, you got some balls, you got some what am I trying to say? Power to you or something like that. You got some you're fortified, you know. Yeah. You stand tall, you know, so
10 toes,
you know, whatever it is women got, but yeah, man, I wish there was a woman on here, and you know, if women see any women that
female listeners,
comment on, let us know what you're thinking, your opinions, you know what I'm saying? But you know, come logically with this, because yeah, you know, that's the only way we look at everything. We're trying to you know, we just gotta change the mindsets and the way people think and look at different things. And you know, that goes for the men too. Men should understand that marriage is a business. So when they want to go, you know, fucking around and things like that, or they lying, you know, when I say lying, it's just not keeping it 100. You know what I'm saying, with their wife. You know what I'm saying, or just trying to say what she want. All that. And that's the type of environment that we fester here in America. That type of say what she wants to hear and keep, you know, a happy wife, happy life, and all that shit. And that's
right.
No, it doesn't lead to anything. It just leads to a bunch of fakeness and resentment. You know what I'm saying? If you if you with your wife, man, and you feel, this is something that should be discussed from the start. You feel like you got issues, feel like you got something like issues like, and what we're about to talk about, monogamy and things like that, what they call cheating and things like that, sticking to one woman. Then you got to just be upfront. Either be upfront, or you better go make sure you go through all the steps to not get fucking caught. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just out of respect, you know, being, and you know, because you know, some guys, a lot of guys can do it, but they get sloppy and they keep doing the same thing over and over again. You know what I'm saying? And you know, they trying to hold a whole nother relationship with a woman, you know, outside of the marriage and things like that. And that just, I don't see how you got that much time in the world. You know what I'm saying? You got business to take care of. You know, to hold a whole entire relationship. You know, so that's something that you need to talk to your women about. And you know, but you know, like you said, a lot of women aren't accepting the things like that, especially, you know, today's age. You know, that's something that's just not, you know, generally accepted. But there are some that will accept it. There's a lot of women that will sleep with a married man. They'll understand exactly what you got going on. There's women that will allow that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you just gotta be truthful. Truthfulness is the number one thing.
Yeah, but I agree with everything you said. You know what I'm saying? But black men don't cheat. So you ready to move over to the second question?
Black men don't cheat. What's that Lil Duval?
That's right. Black men don't cheat.
Yeah, the Lil Duval song. You know, shit. Everybody cheats.
See,
all races cheat.
Nah, see, all races do cheat, but black men don't cheat.
We'll go with that.
Black boys don't cheat. Black boys cheat. Black men don't cheat. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference. Big difference.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Are humans truly built to be monogamous? Is the second question, and I'll start off with this one. I would say, based on our anatomy and stuff like that. Literally, if you think about it, back in the day, what was man sleeping with one woman at all times? No, he probably had multiple wives. To be honest with you, he probably did have multiple wives, and he had a bunch of different kids. Now with this day and age, it's looked down upon for a man to have multiple females or multiple wives, I should say. Shout out to my cousin Mikhail. You know what I'm saying? You the GOAT. 26 kids and counting. But yeah, I think that it depends on the place that we're in this current time. Oh, hold on. But yeah, no, I don't believe humans are truly built to be monogamous. Even females. I know females want to cheat a lot. You know what I'm saying? Let's be clear. Females do cheat.
I can't speak for females though, because we're not females, so we don't know what they feel. And not even that, we just can't speak for everybody. Because it's it's hard, dealing with the same person day after day. It seems like, and it seems that females do cheat, females are slick, but it seems like they're more invested. Women are able to enjoy the partner they're with more than men. This is just from my observation. That not enjoy, men enjoy their women and things like that, but just staying to one person, especially when you see multiple females and things like that. You know what I mean? Unless you sit up there, beating your meat, something like that. I mean, shit, it be pretty damn hard. The damn stomach gonna be damn near hurting. You know what I'm saying? Even if we doing females out here, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean,
it's called blue balls, folks.
They look that damn good. So it's you got to be damn near beating your meat because unless you just unless your wife's just super bad, that's where the I don't know. I don't even want to say that because that's what's the word? That differs from person to person. Yeah, that differs from person to person. Wife was may be cute to somebody else, may not be to another person, and vice versa. So a person may be completely attracted, 100%. That's all they need is their wife. So I can't speak for all men, but I do. Men, for the most part, men are watching. We'll see.
Yep.
Hey man, I'm telling you, dog. From what I've experienced, hey, men are it ain't like they not looking when they see something else out here.
Yep.
And see, I'm watching WNBA right now, and WNBA, there's some big boogaroos. I don't know if you can see on the screen, but there's some boogaroos in there, man. Big men, but there's a big old center on the LA Sparks. On the LA Sparks, man. I'm talking about. And she tall, big Amazon, but got thighs for days, dog. You know what I'm saying? With the little shorts. Men see that. And if you say it don't have a little tingle inside of you.
Yeah, you either lying or there's something. Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just something that's I don't know. And I want to hear from women too. How women feel. You know what I'm saying? They see other men. Do they get, do they have to maintain a level of control? Because men have to maintain a level of control, especially when they see something that they like. You having the same thing over and over again. So, you see something else, you're like, hey, you got a lot of temptation over. Are you able to overcome that temptation? That's a tough thing because everybody deals with it. I mean, just look at how many marriages get ruined because of it.
True, that's factual. That's very factual.
So it's is it even possible? Is it even possible to truly overcome them temptations? I'm talking about without, hey, without whacking your meat or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, 'cause it's damn near what you do, or fuck your wife thinking about another chick, or some shit like that.
Because I'm pretty sure your wife, not your wife, but I'm pretty sure that person's wife will be thinking about another dude while they doing it after a certain amount of time. If you know what I'm saying, like
it's very possible.
You know what I'm saying? Because
very possible.
I mean, I think I'm pretty sure we spoke about this a while ago, but communication. You know what I'm saying? When communication is lax in a relationship, and when communications is lax in a relationship and y'all don't really do stuff and like y'all start to get stagnant, when y'all together, literally he might be thinking of somebody else. He might be thinking of Rihanna or Beyonce or Megan Thee Stallion. Shout out to Megan Thee Stallion. Or she might be thinking about Denzel Washington. What are some other dudes? Will Smith. Who else? Name some others. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Any of these dudes or some dude at work. You know what I'm saying? Why y'all getting together? Speaking of, have you seen the first episode of the that TV show Black Mirror?
Nah.
Oh,
We've heard about it. I mean, I've heard people saying the name, but I don't know nothing about it.
I'll probably save that to another thing, but literally that pretty much talks about the same thing that we're talking about right now. This shit's crazy.
Yeah,
I kind of want you to watch it, and then we can come back to it.
I mean, there's women out here that say, they don't, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? They just don't want to know. It's all type of, women don't have a one way of thinking either. A lot of females got different ways that they handle and they deal with it.
Yep.
So a lot of people out here got open relationships and things like that. There's just all type of ways that it gets dealt with, but it is something that needs to be talked about. It is something that needs to be talked about, and people need to be more truthful and less get less emotional about these type of things. Be truthful about it. How do you handle this type of situation and things like that? Because like you said, your kids and kids and everything, they see these, so they gonna have to know how to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? Deal with this situation and deal with these feelings and what to do. You know what I'm saying? And how if they're handling it the right way. And I'm not saying, cheating or anything like that. I'm not saying that's the right way or anything like that. There does have to be a level of, honesty. Honesty and or just clean. I don't know. It's tough. You just got to do shit the right way, especially if it's a person you love. You just got to do shit the right way. Hey, my advice to you is don't get fucking caught. Either don't get fucking caught or talk to your wife. You know what I'm saying? For the people that have that, for the people that have that type of feeling. Like I said, men see everything. I look around, man, I see women everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, God damn, you know what I'm saying?
You live in Dallas, and there's some bad bitches in Dallas.
They everywhere, man. So that's definitely a tough thing right there.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I got. I mean, we can expand upon this at a later time when we have more people and we have a couple females in here to give their opinions on it. But you ready to move over to the next question?
Yeah, we can.
All right. Faith versus science. Is one more real than the other? Faith versus science. I'll let you go first.
Man, faith. They're both the same. They're both they work, hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? As far as how they operate, it goes hand in hand. You have to put more into science. You have to there's more. You have to have more validation into science. You can't just throw it to the side. I know a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? We go with a faith-based, and we believe in the spirit, and I believe it's all real. I've had different things. You know what I'm saying, that validate that. Mm-hmm. But it's a tough one, man. That I think they both go hand in hand, man.
Okay, I will say faith versus science. Literally, I would say they kind of cancel each other out. To me, at least. To me, they cancel each other out. Because literally, you're believing in something that someone else is telling you. Science, the same thing. You're believing. All right. So what did they say? Let me just use this as an example. They said UFOs, or let's say Bigfoot does not exist, and we find evidence that Bigfoot and there's such things as UFOs or USOs or something like that. Those, let's just say they do exist. Faith, they say God exists. They say Satan exists. Yet we still don't know if God and or Satan exists. We don't know if he's white, black, Chinese, mixed, you know what I'm saying? And then there's different sections of different religions that literally, if you think about it, all equal to the same person or the same type of mindset, but it's different factions in those religions. You know what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, there's a level, you know, faith is, you can have faith in a lot of things, but as far as like, I think the question is more, is God, you know what I'm saying? Can you prove science? Can you link science with the supernatural? You know what I'm saying? Is there something, you know, finding proof of God, and where's that proof at? And that's just, you know, that's a tough thing because it varies person to person. It's you know, people have their own things and things that they see, their testimonies. Like I said, I've seen plenty situations, man. Is, you know, I truly believe there's something out here. Now I don't know what it is, and that's why we got to get on the mission to find that type of thing. But there's a lot of things in science that support that. You know what I'm saying? It's just science, like I say, is just something that, you know, a bunch of scientists, they agree on something, they come to a conclusion until they able to further expand upon it. Until they further expand upon it, they just kind of leave it where it's at. They'll keep it where it's at for the moment until they get more information. But there is something to it, you know, with dealing with atoms and, you know, just all type of things, you know, the way things work in life. It shows evidence of that. So you can't just, it doesn't offset. It's now faith. You know, like I said, you can have faith in all type of things, but I think faith is just, faith is kind of like just, faith and hope go hand in hand. You know, it's like,
that's true.
I just have faith. You don't have anything supporting anything or any, you know, I just got faith that it's there. It's like, you know, me sitting here right now, and I'm sitting here, I got faith that I'm going to get $1 million. I don't know how I'm going to get it. I'm not putting in the work to get to $1 million, but I just got faith that I'm going to get $1 million. You know, that's, faith is just like hope. But as far as, you know, like I said, dealing with supernatural things and things like that, I mean, it's just, you know, you look all around you, you know, everything's a mystery. Nobody has the full answers, you know what I'm saying, when you break everything down to, you know what I'm saying, to what it is originally and what it originates from. Nobody has the answer, you know what I'm saying, to these things. And so I just think that's what we more as human beings should strive more for. I mean, there's a lot of people that have just experienced different things that they can't explain, I mean, even science doesn't have a theory for it. True. You know what I'm saying? And so we got to look more into that, especially dealing with now, because, you know, it's something that's strong, because, you know, we see what's going on in the black community, man. You know, not just black community. You know, I say that because that's what you know, that hits directly home. But, you know, just in the world in general, you know, you sitting there trying to figure out what can we do to make this planet right? You know, is it even possible? You know, it says in the book, in the book they call the Bible, which has a lot of good things, but like I said, it's man-made, so you don't know. You know, you just don't know. But it says, you know, things are going to be the way it is. You know, it says a lot of accurate things. But, you know, is there a way that we can touch people spiritually? that, you know, it can cause a spark and, you know, travel from person to person to where they start, you know, being more upfront and being able to recognize, being able not only, you know, saying, telling their testimonies, but, you know, to be able to tell your testimony is to be able to recognize these different instances in life where these things that can't be explained happen. You know what I'm saying? And so that'll, you know, and with that means you have to be truthful with a lot of more other things too, because, you know, if you just a person that sits around lying or you're a deceitful person, that's gonna affect your credibility. But like I said, you got a lot of credible people and people that, you know, don't necessarily lie about things like that. You know, just lie in general. That's you know, it makes you, you know, scratch your head, and that's just for people. I've never needed that validation because, like I said, I've had my different run-ins with, you know, whether it's higher power, our power, whatever, a different type of power, a different type of energy that's going on. I've had my run-ins with it, and it's definitely something out there. So I've never needed that validation, but who knows what other people need, and, you know, what they're going through. And, you know, it's just, I think that's what'll help more if we are able to identify what it is. You know what I'm saying? The things that, you know, that are just, there's a lot of things that are just being hidden from us. You know what I'm saying? We think it's something that we'll never know, but there's a lot of knowledge that's being hidden from us, you know what I'm saying, to keep us from accessing that type of power, because you can't take advantage of a person once they understand these different things.
Yeah, and well, one thing that I want to expand upon for like the science. I don't know if you guys even know about alchemy or even believe in alchemy, but scientists say alchemy is bullshit. Literally, if you think about it, science is a form of alchemy. That's it. That's it. Alchemy does exist. Alchemy is a such thing that they used back in the day, and science is just the evolved form of alchemy. If you don't believe me, that's fine and good and dandy. Everybody is not meant to be woke. I hate that word. Everybody's mind is not open enough to take in certain amount of truth and certain amount of knowledge at this time. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, hopefully, your mind will be open for that, but not everybody's mind is open for that. Yeah, I mean, that's all I got for that. It's that they literally, to me, they canceled each other out. You know what I'm saying? Because faith, like I said before, people put their faith in God, right? But when everything goes good, a lot of people don't thank God. They're like, all right, I work for this myself. But when everything goes bad, they shit on God. And it's your fault that I'm in this situation. When you don't put you don't look at yourself in the mirror and take that reflection that you put yourself in that situation. But, you know what I'm saying, that's probably going a little too deep for too many people. You know what I'm saying? So
a lot of people blame it on the devil. You know what I'm saying? Blame it on the devil. You know, God is, they say God, you know, where they say God is the author of all things. So, you know, we should be thanking him for the bad times too then. You know, it's just, we got to look at this, you know, we got to be able to, you know, take a look at this and look at this from the proper way. People got to be able to dissect things like the Bible. You know, it could be true, but you got to be able to dissect it and not just take it for what it's worth. You know, you got to study the history of it, you know, the people behind it. But people just take it as, you know, that's exactly what it is, and that's why you just see such blindness that you see nowadays. It's just like just like the thing, you know, and, you know, a lot of this has to do with, you know, history and, how history and how different things have been given to people. But, you know, like the situation in Memphis with the guy who just got shot down there, you know, from you listen to the story, it just sounds like he was in the wrong, but you know, people ain't trying to hear that. You know, they're not trying to hear the story. They just hear, you know, black man got shot, so now they're down there rioting. Yeah, they're down there rioting and tearing up the town. You know what I'm saying? And there's no context. There's no context with anything, and so and that's just how people are. That's how people have been conditioned to do, just in general.
Yeah, and I want to leave you guys off with this for this question. You know what I'm saying? Don't think of God as your author. Think of him as the librarian. You are the author. He's the librarian. Just putting your books up when it's time to be put up. Just think about it. You know what I'm saying? If you agree, you agree. You don't, you don't. All right. Is there a double standard between brown officers shooting an Anglo-Saxon? If you don't know what that means a Caucasian person. Shooting a Anglo-Saxon person and a white officer shooting a black person or a person of color. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to definitely say there is a double standard. Unfortunately, black people are looked at like we are super aggressive, you know what I'm saying? And white officers are, I ain't even gonna say white officers, Mexican officers, some niggas, Asian officers. You could barely be raising your voice, or I could be speaking in a tone like this, and they'll reach straight for the gun. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them, damn, I can't even really say that. I'm putting everybody. I will put all them into like one little box. A lot of them don't know how to. A lot of them don't have people skills. I'll just put it like that. If you don't have people skills, you don't need to be police officers. But yeah, I do think there's a double standard. And honestly, a black officer doing that to a white person, I don't believe that there's a double standard, but I guess you could say there's a double standard. I'm not for sure really. I've dealt with only like 2 black officers, and literally one of them I know was fucking power hungry and power drunk only because I knew who he was in high school. The second one, I would say he was just a chill person, but he was very stern and he could speak. He could speak, very well, and we could have a conversation, and he wasn't reaching straight for a pistol, you know what I'm saying, to put a nigga down. But yeah, what was your thoughts on this, Corey?
No, man, you got that officer, man, out in Minnesota that was just convicted, man. He just got convicted for shooting at the white woman that startled him. Ran up to the car. She called the police. Ran up to the car, and I don't know, exactly how what the exchange was, but he ended up shooting her, and they charged him quick. I mean, but you look at things like the Botham Jean situation down here in Dallas, and that lady still hasn't been charged. Now I know it's 2 different states. There's a lot of different things in different jurisdictions, but I like how many times have we seen, for cases that are justified, and there's been times where there's white officers, they've been, indicted, charged and things like that, but it usually takes a lot of investigation and trying to find out, and a lot of times they get off, they beat the case. But you had this, I talked about this probably a couple of years ago. I told people with this, I forget her name, but I remember I put her exact name. I had posted about it, and I told people to remember this case because if we'll see if there's a double standard if this black officer gets charged or anything. But that's exactly 2 years later. That's exactly what happened. So yeah, man. Of course, there's just a lot of things. A lot of things that happen. On the behalf, different laws don't get passed and things like that until it happens to a white person. It could be millions of black people getting killed, but the first time a white person gets killed, now we got to pass a law or something to get this taken care of. Then now they've gone too far. So yeah, there definitely is a double standard.
All right, yeah. I mean, I definitely do agree with you. I didn't really know about that too much. about what happened. I mean, you spoke about it a little bit earlier, but I didn't really like know the details. I mean, yeah. I mean, but that's honestly, that's what what's the word I'm looking for? That's pretty much what we have been, I guess you would say, programmed to program for these days. You know what I'm saying? Literally, we see it so much these days. We're just like, oh, damn, another brother got killed. The officer's gonna get off most likely. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like you would think the Blue Shield would fight for their own because that's allegedly what they'll do, but it looks like the Blue Shield only fights for the certain ones that they fight for, and they happen to be white people a lot of the time. And another thing I wanted to say is like I said, not being able to de-escalate situations. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand police officers are in situations where they feel that their life could be in danger. But if you're not trained to be like that, or if you're not trained to be in pressure situations like that, I don't believe you should be a police officer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. There is a double standard, and that's fucked up that the black cop is gonna get sentenced, and there's shit tons of white cops that's just been shooting niggas for no reason. Did you see that link that Lauren sent us earlier today?
Yeah, I saw that.
Nigga, that's 55 times in 3.5 seconds?
Yep. He was sleeping in his car. That was Willie McCoy over in Vallejo. He's sleeping inside of his car, and they woke him up. He had his gun on his lap, but he was tired. And somebody had called the police because he said he was sleeping in his car. The police came up, and they, instead of gently tapping on the window, trying to get him up, they knocked on the window and screaming, yelling. It startled him up. That, of course, that's retarded.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing you're gonna do, who the fuck that is. So you're gonna grab your pistol, and they proceed to right at up close range and load 55 shots into him. Yeah.
Like I said, the communication skills of these motherfuckers is terrible. And pretty much whatever I said before is that shit these days. I blame that on the internet, but that's for a whole nother subject. But yeah, bro, like 55 times, and then you hear him yelling, "Put your hands up! Put your hands up!" Motherfucker, I'm pretty sure you killed this nigga 55 times. If this nigga survives 55 bullets, bruh, like, come on now.
Yeah.
Put your hands up! Put your hands up! You sound stupid, dog. Like, yeah, but I mean, yeah, man. This is America, right? This is America.
Yeah, that's the game, man. That's the game.
All right, did you have anything else you want to speak on real quick? Do you have anything you want to get off your chest? Good, bad, or indifferent? We ain't did that in a minute.
Nah, I don't have nothing to get off your chest. It's just encourage people to use objectivity when dealing with these different situations, and just use objectivity. Use logic. Don't throw out emotion. Don't throw out emotion or anything. You just got to combine the two, but there has to be logic involved. We're all taught to be emotional. That's what America conditioned us to be through the media. The media is pushing that agenda, just to have everybody emotional. Let's use objectivity, to be able to, get the facts, so we can lead to, get the facts of each, of each case or whatever it is in life. Understand what you're dealing with. Try to get the full understanding to the best of your ability to what you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Before you make come to a conclusion. And so, that's all. And let's keep working.
All right, yeah. I ain't really got nothing to get off my chest except for, black men don't cheat. Shout out to Lou Duval, Charlamagne the God. This is a great song. And I mean, yeah, that's it, man. This has been another episode of the Average Guy Podcast on the Average Guy Studios. Thanks to my brother Ryan, my brother Corey, you know what I'm saying, for pulling up and giving our thoughts on the show. So Corey, where can they find you and what can they expect with Grit Sports Media?
Well, sports, man. Sports. That's good, man.
And also Grit Culture. Let them know what you get with Grit Culture.
So, whatever content, man. Whatever content I got, man, it's kind of random. But yeah.
All right, and also, man, shout out to our brother Lauren, man. Lojo Speaks, man, bringing the father word back to fatherhood. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much, you can find me on Instagram, The Average Guy Podcast, Randy_Ace, Facebook, The Average Guy Podcast. There'll be a link tree in the description below where you can follow all of our. You can click and follow all of our sites. All of our links will be in descriptions below. Shout out to the YouTube family. Shout out to the BitChat family. Shout out to everybody that we're streaming on. Shout out to the Facebook family. Everybody, man. Shout out to all the podcast listeners. We love you guys and we're out, man. Peace.
Peace.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Ugly girls?
That's an ugly bitch.
Yeah.
I thought y'all would say that. What if she a side chick? What
You
if
said that she a side chick.
Yeah, what if you already got a regular chick?
What you mean?
Out of your side chick. The ugly side chick or a bad one? Which one gonna bring more to the table?
Which one does more
side
likely?
chick or a
You know,
bad side chick?
Any bitch can bring some shit to the table, but which one more likely? Shit, ugly people more likely to do a whole lot of things. Ugly, fucked up looking people are the nicest people in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa. Not all of them, but most
That's
of
just
them,
how
yes.
it go, dog. I mean, not all of them. Of course, it ain't gonna be all of them for the most part, though.
Ugly bitches.
They're the most humble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Once an ugly bitch get routine dick, you can't tell her nothing. Nigga, she gonna think you bad for life.
What's fucked up is it's true. That's true.
Don't let the bitch get some fire head, nigga. Oh my god.
Now, if you talking about, like financially shit like that, cute bitch gonna have more.
Yep. Yeah, because
they got more shit popping, more shit working for themselves. You know what I'm saying?
But is it about the money or is it you just trying to lay some wood?
I mean, yeah. Shit. I don't know. That's kind of
to keep it 100 with me. It'd be about the money. It'd be about the money because a pretty female will have more leeway with dudes because all she gotta do is just look cute. You know what I'm saying? She ain't gotta do shit too much. She can get whatever she want from them.
Just from looking cute?
Yeah, hell yeah. Niggas is simps out here, dog. What?
That's true. That's true.
Niggas will do anything for a pretty little face. And some titties or an ass? What?
I mean, real nigga though. Not no simp, like a real nigga.
I mean, shit, real nigga gonna get it, regardless. You know what I'm saying? Real nigga gonna get it regardless. But we just talking about in general, or what's the bitch's chances? You know what I'm saying? Depending, what's the odds? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The Vegas numbers based off what the hoe looking like.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, I'll bring more to the table.
We're gonna bring more to the table.
Yeah, you already got a regular check.
Well, without it like say you could you tell the bitch to jump, she say how high?
Nah, you tell a bitch to jump and she gonna stay there.
This bitch floating.
An ugly bitch more likely to do that, my nigga.
If your game tight though, pretty you get a pretty bitch to do the same.
You get a pretty bitch, yeah. You get a pretty bitch, but I'm telling you, if you go off likelihood, it's gonna be an ugly bitch.
That's
just anything. That's anything. Ugly people more likely to do. Ugly people because they're less likely to be less confident, so they're gonna do what they gotta do to get where they need to go.
Is that Because we can name the show off of this answer. Is that fact or theory?
Hey, that's fact, my nigga. That's fact. Hey, go to the strip club. Hey, go to the strip club with $5. You know what I'm saying? Go to the strip club with $5. The ugly hoe will be on you all night, my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Or not the ugly hoe, you know, the least attractive, the hoe with no ass. You know what I'm saying?
Should be up. Strip club gonna be on you for $5.
Huh?
What strip club you going to?
I'm telling you, nigga. I've been to multiple strip clubs, nigga. I'm telling you.
Right.
There's hoes walking around. There ain't every bitch in that motherfucking came up.
That's true. That's def true.
I done been up there. I done been up to Ecstasy, one of the most popular spots down here. There's hoes walking around that motherfucker trying to get in where they fit in, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
$5, nigga, bought him a cup of Jack and Coke, nigga.
You can't even get it.
He started calling Ice Cube.
You can't even get a Jack and Coke with that. You can't even get a Jack and Coke with that. But you can get an all night lap dance from a bitch with. She ain't even got to be an ugly bitch. All she got is a bitch with no ass. A bitch with no ass and flat and bonus if it's flat titties. You might be able to save $250 out of that $5. You know what I'm saying?
You might as well cut off.
I'm dead real.
Shout out to the little booties. You know what I'm saying?
Them hoes dance all night. Little cute bitch with a fat ass. She knows she want it. Go in there $5. She might get that $5 out of you. Then you know what I'm saying? Once you drive, she gonna jump on to the next where the other money at because they know they gonna throw it in that motherfucker.
Exactly.
Slapping ass and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. That's exactly how I go in that strip club.
That's hella funny.
All right.
That was wild.
Yeah. I'm ready when y'all are.
Fuck that nigga. Wow, fuck the lap dance. I'm trying to buy some head, nigga.
He trying to go into the back with the.
I got five.
I got five on it.
Now, them the type of hoes you gotta get condom head from, man.
Your pussy good.
You gotta get some that condom head you talking about. That, you know, because you just try to get sucked up by them strippers, boy.
Nigga,
well, your shit.
I'm in the square, bro.
Boy, your shit gonna have boils on that motherfucker,
oh.
bro.
Nigga, I'll triple balloon that motherfucker before I ever nigga get some raw top from a stripper, nigga.
Yeah.
This ain't Players Club.
Hell no. Even if it was, nigga, I wouldn't want none of them bitches to be my baby mama.
Them strippers be in there on that too. They be in there on that too, especially you spending enough bread. Mm-hmm. I told you, my brother had us VIP in that motherfucker. The bitch was in there, took her panties off and shit, trying to get me some pussy and shit. I'm like, nah, baby.
He selling pussy for $5. You ain't gotta wonder.
Nah, there wasn't no $5. My brother, I said VIP. This nigga was spending bread, and he gave me a stack of money and shit like that. But yeah, she pulled her panties out, you know what I'm saying, trying to throw me pussy and shit. I'm like, nah, that ain't about to fly.
Not today, said I.
Boy. No, boy. Nah, just keep doing what you're doing.
Shit.
My nigga Ryan's like, what you mean?
You sure you would took? Nah.
Nigga. I need one.
Nah.
Like, you know, nigga can take it down, right? You know that, right?
You said what?
You was like, you know I could take that down, right? What you mean?
Right.
Are you playing with me?
Hell yeah, bitch. If I turn to 250 real quick. Niggas start pulling out that change on the bitch.
Don't change on.
Making it rain with them pennies.
I'm throwing quarters.
Yeah, that's just the game. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, what did it be?
All right, what's the topics for tonight? What my battery look like?